Cultivation is not an ascent in height, but a shift in nature. In the subconscious of many practitioners, cultivation is often perceived as climbing a ladder, one step higher than the last. When discussing meditative concentration samadhi, people habitually compare heights. They feel that the 9 successive absorptions are incomplete because the 5 aggregates are not yet fully transcended. Or they believe that cessation, extinction concentration, nirodha samapatti, being one step beyond the sphere of neither perception nor non-perception, must be inherently superior or higher. However, as the master pointed out in his teaching, if one does not recognize their self-nature, even the highest realm remains merely concentration. What is worldly concentration? It is the state of still being trapped within the cycle of birth and death, samsara. No matter how high you sit, or how long you remain in stillness, as long as you are within the realm of arising and ceasing, it cannot be called supramundane. A more critical misconception is the belief held by many that small vehicle, Sravakine, is the foundation for the great vehicle, Mahayana, and that one must first master the small vehicle to enter the great. The master directly sentenced this view to death. The great vehicle and the small vehicle differ fundamentally from their very point of entry. Small vehicle practice is built upon the foundation of real existence. It views suffering as real, the accumulation of suffering as real, and therefore seeks to tangibly extinguish that suffering through a tangibly existing path. Its core is self-benefit, aimed at achieving ultimate individual liberation. In contrast, the underlying logic of the great vehicle can be summarized in a single word: illusion. The great vehicle views everything as a dream, a phantom, a bubble, or a shadow. Its core is benefiting others. You might ask, how can one function without self-benefit? The profound mystery of the great vehicle lies here. The ultimate result of benefiting others is, in fact, self-benefit. These two paths are entirely different in nature and must never be conflated. As disciples of the Buddha, we rely on the sutras rather than the personal opinions of any master. If you wish to follow a pure path of practice, you must do as the master teaches, rely less on what a master says, and instead use what the sutras say as your benchmark. Only by establishing such clear concepts can you avoid veering off course. The madness of Yajnadatta, the daily rashomon of every human being. The 4th volume of the Surangama Sutra tells a thrilling yet utterly absurd story. Yajnadatta of Shravasti looked into a mirror one morning and saw a head with clear features, which he fell in love with. Suddenly a thought struck him. The head in the mirror is so beautiful, but why have I never seen my own head? This single doubt, I can find my head, instantly plunged him into hatred and terror. He thought, it's over. I can't see my head, so I must be a headless demon. In his state of utter panic, he began running through the streets for no reason, maddened by fear. The master reminds us that this story is not about a madman from 2000 years ago. It is about us, right here and now. Every sentient being, every single day, performs this drama of Yajnadatta countless times in their mind. Step 1. Delusion, the initial stage of ignorance. You see someone's expression or action, or you hear a sentence. Because you do not possess the power of knowing others' minds, you do not know the precise intent of that moment. This fog-like state of ambiguity is delusion. Step 2. False definition. Because of the delusion, you feel uneasy and start making wild guesses to define the situation. For instance, you see someone with a sour face this morning, and you immediately confirm in your mind, yes, They are targeting me. It must be because of something I said last night. Step 3. Weaving phantasms. Once confirmed, your brain begins to rapidly script a screenplay. How dare they give me the cold shoulder? I've been so good to them, and they are so ungrateful. In this self-authored script, you become angrier and angrier, until eventually, you yourself end up with a sour face. This is the common state of sentient beings. Every individual remains unknown to the other, yet everyone believes they know exactly. The master says that when people sit together, they are actually playing out two different scripts. You think you understand them, and they think they understand you. But in truth, no one knows the nonsense the other is scripting in their heart. This chain reaction based on misunderstanding is the source of all affliction and conflict. 2. Where does delusion come from? Falsehood has no cause. Many people like to dig for the root, since being lost is so painful. What is the ultimate source of this delusion? In the sutra, the Buddha gives a shocking answer. If it is called falsehood, how can it have a cause? What does this mean? A false thing is called false, precisely because it has no real basis. Yajnadatta's logic was actually quite rigorous, because the head in the mirror is visible, but I cannot see my own head. I conclude that I have no head. You see, he was not only logical but also objective. However, his initial recognition, recognizing himself as headless, was itself ignorance. The same applies to real life. When you define another person's heart without precise verification, you have already entered the state of Yajnadatta. If you decide that someone is lying to you, then even if they say the coffee tastes good, you will feel they are being deceptive, which leads to the conclusion, they have been lying to me their whole life. 3. Pulling the plague. The secret of cessation is Bodhi. To terminate this frantic scripting of dramas, the prescription given by the Buddha is extremely simple, not following the three continuities of the world. Karma and sentient beings are like a movie being projected. The reason the movie can continue is that you have provided electricity to the projector. Your following and discrimination are that electric current. The master tells us the most effective way is to pull the plug. When someone gives you a sour face, or when a situation arises, you do not follow it, you do not discriminate against it, and you do not add things to it. If you don't provide the electricity, the play cannot go on. When you truly cease and stop providing that random electricity, you will discover a startling fact, although the deluded thoughts are gone, that spiritual nature capable of hearing, seeing and perceiving has not vanished. It does not diminish with your rest, nor does it increase with your busyness. It is pure, clear, and pervades the Dharma realm. That is your true mind. That is the unsurpassed Bodhi. Epilogue. Rather than tangling in phantasms, cultivate two Sumeru mountains. At the end of his teaching, the Master gave us the most compassionate and grounded operational guide. If you feel your current ability is insufficient and you cannot yet achieve total non-following, then when you face a sour face or a conflict, simply shift your thought. Don't worry about whether the other person is truly angry or just has a toothache, and don't study who is right or wrong. When you discover that a sentient being is suffering, even if you yourself are full of grievances, try to give rise to a single thought of kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. How can I help them leave suffering and attain happiness? Do not underestimate this single thought. The Master revealed a great secret. As long as you initiate the action from your heart, even if you don't achieve the goal, or even if you are mistaken, you still accomplish two merits as vast as Mount Sumeru, a mountain of merit, ensuring you run faster than anyone else on the path to Buddhahood. A mountain of eradicated evil karma. With a bang, your past evil karma, as vast as Mount Sumeru, vanishes. This world is essentially one large Rashomon, where everyone lives in their own phantasmal script. Rather than laboriously trying to cultivate or attain something, starting today, simply stop providing electricity to the madness of Yajnadatta. In this illusory world, only that compassion of relieving suffering and providing joy is real. When you no longer calculate who is right or wrong, and no longer entangle yourself in the other person's script, you will find that the Buddha nature you originally possessed has already been shining brilliantly within that peaceful state of cessation.